Well, good morning, welcome to Thought for the Day. Well, it's official, isn't it? In 6 days' time, you can have a hug. We can hug those people that we have refrained from hugging for more than a year now. It's hard to believe, really. Certainly we would have found it even harder to believe if you told us a year ago that that's what was going to happen. But although we're told we need to, and the newspapers all celebrate it, do we actually feel like hugging these people? Do we feel like it? I know that one of the first Thought for the Days I did more than a year ago when we started out on this journey was one entitled "I Need a Hug." But now, although we're going to be allowed to, we feel a bit nervous. I mean, who are you going to give that first hug to? When is it? Are you going to rush out and do it on first thing in the morning on Monday the 17th, or wait till you see that particular person who you should give the first hug to? It's a nice freedom, but times are complex. The wise writer of the book which is in our Bible called Ecclesiastes, said there is a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. And I think we're a bit confused about which of those we're in. We know we've been in the time to refrain for the last year, but it seems a little bit hard to believe we've actually just moved back into the previous world, the world where there is a time to embrace. Because really our view of the world has changed, hasn't it? I remember a year or more ago when Boris was saying confidently, this first lockdown will last 3 weeks, we'll have sorted it out in 3 months. I don't know about you, but I really wanted to believe him. I knew the scientists were sort of putting a bit of cold water on it, but I wanted to believe it. I thought, look, that's how things ought to be. And now it's almost the other way around, even though the science does say that the vaccine is being pretty effective, infection rates are going down even as we start to open up. I'm now reluctant to believe the good news that's trumpeted on the front pages of the paper. I almost don't want to believe it. I know it's supposed to be going that way, but I've been bitten too many times. I've put false hope in that sort of thing, and it's not turned out to be that way. And maybe that's a more realistic view of the world that we've got as a result of the last year. We've discovered that there are viruses out to get us, that there are many more viruses where this one came from, that because of the way we've abused the natural world, they're more likely to get us. We've discovered maybe unpleasant truths about human nature, that simplistic lies are rather more attractive than the complexity of the truth. We don't particularly like Trump or Putin, but we've discovered that people rather like to hear those simple stories, whereas the complexity of real life and the uncertainties of science, that the vaccines aren't 100% effective, but they do help. Social distancing doesn't quite sort it out, and all those complexities, and new variants can come. All those complexities are hard, and we prefer someone who just says it's all going to be fine, and just trust me, even if they have demonstrated themselves to be completely untrustworthy. But how do we respond to this changed view of the world? We could respond by being hardened, in a sense, disillusioned. Turn our house into a fortress where the Amazon delivery comes, or the Tesco delivery. But apart from that, we keep ourselves to ourselves. And that's the new normal for some people. Some people are very reluctant to go out of their houses, I think, at all. We could move into that world, not believe anything. Still a dangerous world, but I've got to protect myself. But I'm not sure that's what God is calling us to. I think God calls us to see things slightly more optimistically, but not in a blind optimism, everything's going to be all right, but rather that even in this fallen, sinful, dangerous world, there are moments of joy, moments of beauty, moments of love, and moments of delight. And as we come out of this phase of the pandemic, maybe hopefully come out of the worst of it, but with our view of the world changed, maybe we can learn to treasure those moments more than we did in the past. Terry talked yesterday about giving little things, small things, giving people small blessings, random acts of kindness. Maybe my encouragement today is to receive those small things, those small blessings. Because in each of those things, the sunshine on the trees, the gentle breeze, the hug, that first hug, just going around to drop into someone's house next week for a cup of coffee. In each of those things, there is a taste of heaven, a taste of a world where there is no more crying or death or sickness or pain, a world that we long for, but which we maybe now know more realistically is not here yet. So may that first hug, whoever you give it to, whenever you give it, and all those other little things kindle in you a desire for that, for heaven, a desire for that better world. And if you're able to receive it, may it kindle in you too your love for the one who came from heaven to make us a way there. His name, as I think you know, is Jesus. God bless.